Hello, I'm Atujame and you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime at 9. Now, news in details. Nagaland Legislative Assembly Speaker Sharinyan Longkamo on Thursday adjourned the 11th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly, Sinidai, after completing all the list of businesses on March 24. Earlier in the morning, annual administrative reports for 2021 to 2022 were placed in the House by various government departments. Further, the reports or rules were also placed in the House.
Make an announcement that we have transacted all the business listed for the 11th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. We have had 4 sittings, and I thank all the honorable members for your cooperation, very orderly conduct, and for all the meaningful contribution in the proceedings.
Chief Minister Nipurio, also Minister in charge of Finance, moved the Nagaland Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management 5th Amendment Bill 2022. The bill was passed by the House. The supplementary demand for grant for the year 2021 to 2022 was also passed during the day. The Chief Minister also moved the Nagaland Appropriation No. 1 Bill 2022, Supplementary 2021 to 2022, and the Nagaland Appropriation No. 2 Bill 2022, Budget 2022 to 2023. Both the bills were passed by the House. Voting on a demand for grants for the year 2022 to 2023 was also passed by the Assembly. Chief Minister and Leader of the House, Nipurio, while summarizing the budget session, extended his appreciation and gratitude to all the legislators for meaningfully participating and giving positive suggestions during the budget discussion. He said he fully endorsed what the members have said during the day-long discussion on budget. Rio said the Chief Minister's microfinance initiative will give a big boost to young entrepreneurs' ventures into business, and the SAR 5C Act has been made feasible, because of which aspiring entrepreneurs could avail loans from the banks on customary laws and usages. Rio said that the process of documentation and completion is going on in the line of Article 371 Clause A. On power sector, he said that the power purchase is more than the revenue collection. 10,000 each per pre-metering has been installed in Kohima and Dimapur, due to which there is huge improvement in tax collection. Under JICA, 91 villages have already been covered out of 185 villages to be covered. On undergoing construction of High Court, the construction work has been put on hold due to CBI case. On NST bus services, Rio said that the government has already sanctioned Rs 4 crore for purchase of new buses.
Why the school has so little enrollment? Because in a small ESC headquarters, we have 3 high schools, 2 private high schools and 1 government high school. And in both the private high schools, there are a very good number of students, 200, 300, 400 students in each school. But the government school was having less than 20 students. So when they went to see what is the deficiency, they found that people who retired, particularly maths and science teachers, did not get replacement. Or there was no proper headmaster who retired, and this school was neglected, and that's why there is no, who would like to take admission where there is no proper teacher. So I think that was corrected. I'm happy, because all the students, they cannot go to private schools, they have to pay fees. And in government school, they get big help. And so I think school should.
Meanwhile, leader NPF Legislators Party TR Zeliang, while participating in a discussion, suggested the use of technology such as electronic meter reading system and prepaid system to check power theft and payment irregularities.
This power purchase is a disease creating deficit in the state. Every year we purchase power from outside, and which was read out by honorable member. And the purchase is always more than the revenue that we could collect in the state. So I want to put it in a very simple way, as we have discussed in the last budget session, 2021-2022. There we have emphasized on the issue of power theft. So to check this power theft, the state government has made a lot of effort, and which could not be resolved till today. That is why I have mentioned in the last budget session that man to man, to check corruption or misuse, to check man to man is not possible. But if we use the technology wisely, the technology can check each and every individual. So, we are glad to see that the power department has started with electronic meter reading system, and now contemplating to start with this prepaid system.
Minister for Public Health Engineering Department PHED Jacob Jumomi today stressed on the need to revive the Agriculture Produce Marketing Committee APMC in the state so as to enable the people to get maximum benefit from it. Taking part in the general discussion on budget 2022 to 2023 on the last day of the 11th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly today, he said, "Our economy is derived from agriculture, due to which we must find a way for farmers to sell their produce so that they will have the better avenues and yield maximum results out of it." Jumomi lauded Chief Minister Nipurio for presenting a surplus budget. He said the budget was well distributed to all the departments despite the limited budget.
For the next financial year, I must applaud the Honorable Finance Minister. With a very limited budget at his disposal, they have done justice to all the departments, not leaving any department behind. Today, the budget was presented by the Honorable Finance Minister in the last session, and when we see the budget and how we had improved financially, how the financial management was done, and the financial reforms that were impacted, and we had a surplus of 150 crores, though it had to be deducted for the last deficit that we had. Nevertheless, I think it's a progression ahead, and there has been indication that there was growth in several sectors, especially the regulating departments. Though much is left to be desired, but we are bouncing back to the road of progress and prosperity, because we have decided that whatever resolution we arrive at, it will be within the ambit of the Constitution of India. And so I think in that line and direction, if we talk to our friends from the political groups, because we are all stakeholders, and we cannot stop them, they cannot stop us from participating in giving our opinions about the issue, as far as the issue is concerned, in the interest of the Nagaland people. So, Honourable Speaker, sir, let us all work unitedly to see that Nagaland, there is peace and prosperity in Nagaland, and we prosper along with the rest of the country.
Minister Jimomi expressed appreciation over the Chief Minister's microfinance initiative with an objective to give impetus to the aspiring entrepreneurs by way of facilitating them to avail credit and the SARFAIC Act being made feasible as per the need so as to give gainful employment to young entrepreneurs ventures into profitable business. Liquidity is the most difficult aspect for an educated unemployed youth, though we have land, he added. Jimomi also thanked the Leader of the House for incorporating of medical coverage in respect of Chief Minister's health insurance scheme, which showed the health concerns of our citizens. MLA Dr. Chumben Muri today expressed concern over the Nagaland Liquor Total Prohibition Act at the ongoing session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Taking part in the general discussion on the budget for the year 2022 to 2023, Dr. Muri said he was hoping that the session will see tabling of NLTP Act for amendment so that it can promote increased revenue which the state so needs. He said that he does not understand the stand of the churches in opposing any move of the government to amend this infamous act. As the government of the day, we should stand firmly on the ground reality that NLTP Act has been more deleterious than being beneficial for the people and amend the act, he said.
Speaker, sir, the budget has been the most way forward budget in short-term needs as well as long-term concept. It offers a very synergistic room for discussion of good financial management while at the same time providing for the mass during the fiscal year. Due consideration has been given to prevailing economically noxious issues. The political movement created social turmoil, developmental deficits, and enormous hurdle for us, particularly the youths, by restricting them in their quest to realize aspiration. Speaker, sir, in this globalized world, where the world at large is in the palm of their hands in the form of smartphones, the wants of the youths have become larger than what our economy can provide. They have been allowed peaceful time which has been sort of borrowed and are now graduates. This group of youths have practically understood no pains in relation to insurgency. Yet the prevailing situation, as mentioned, restricting them from realizing their aspiration as described, have made many of them anti-establishment, or say with anti-establishment attitude and critical of decision makers. Therefore, to reverse this situation, I strongly join the Honorable Chief Minister in his message is quoted that reiterating the cry of the Naga people and the voice of the masses through the floor of this August House to the government of India and the various Naga political groups to actively work.
Meanwhile, Dr. Muri made a suggestion to the government of the day, MUL, on introduction of Own Religion and Marriage Act and Civil Code to protect Naga religious and social ways of life as enshrined in Article 371A, so that the central laws on these matters do not overshadow. He said that Article 371 Clause A was a necessary extraneous insinuation into the Constitution of India because of our unique predisposition, and we must strongly protect our uniqueness because there are many central laws that should not be applicable to Naga ways of life based on this article. Taking part in a discussion on budget for the year 2022 to 2023 on the last day of the 11th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly, MLA Yitachu said that Nagaland without medical college is being more than embarrassing because it is the 16 states and the state do not have a single medical college. He said all over the country, every state, every union territory have medical college, and today only Nagaland is left out. He appreciated that the Chief Minister Nipirio in his budget speech made on March 22nd that the government had constituted an autonomous society for the new medical college at Kohima, and it announced to strive to ensure that admission for the college commence from the academic session 2023 to 2024. Itachu appealed to the minister in charge and government to expedite the process of the medical college in the state.
These are very important. The people want to know. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a national policy, the government of India, to connect every state capital with airports and railways. But be it in the governor's speech or in the budget speech, these two important have been left out. The railway line to connect Kohima and the Chitu airport, which is for the capital state of Nagaland. And Nagaland being a 16th state, Government of India needs to give a top priority in this sector. And this will help in a big way to promote various developmental activities in the state. Another area is, there is nowhere mention about inland waterways. People are so anxious, enthusiastic and looking forward, but not a single line has been mentioned about the inland waterways. And this is also a very important thing. And another thing is, we have done away with the eastern frontier. Particularly, the government of India now wanted to open up the international borders. But here, neither in the governor's speech, nor in the budget speech, no specific action plan or program has been worked out on those identified international trade centers.
MLA V.K. Hosu today called for creation of Pukuboto district on need base. Taking part in the general discussion on budget on the last day of the 11th session of 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly, he said that when Nagaland state came into being, Pukuboto was 23 years under Kohima district and 26 years now under Zuniboto district. He said that Pukuboto is one of the oldest subdivision in Nagaland and the largest block in the district. We have been living peacefully with our neighboring tribes, Angami, Chakasang, Lotha, Rengma and for time immemorial. We don't have much border disputes, he added. He said that districts as of now should be given on need base so that we can be brought at par with the rest of the Nagas. There should not be any backward or forward, but we should try and bring Nagas to one level. I stand the same objective in mind today, that district, if we have to give district, we have to look at need base and not tribe lines, he added.
The idea was that the central government will not give these 4 roads at the same time. And therefore we have to choose one road as our priority. And I remember clearly in 2015, it was first proposed by the DRO that showed that Pangsha should be picked up as our priority. Later on, the rest of the department present in the meeting agreed. And therefore, this Shoba Guzuni Poboto Zineboto Aganato Shamater Noklak Pangsha road was picked as priority. Proposal was sent to the government of India, MORTH, and the approval of the ministry came via letter number NH 14014/24/2016 P&M dated 24 May 2016. Following this, consultancy bid was also invited and initiated. I also took as my responsibility, when this road got in principle approval, I went up to Pangsha organized meeting all the way to see that no disturbance should be given to this road, no land dispute or any trouble or any disturbance, nothing should be. We should not disturb again and get this road as early as possible. That was how I initiated going up to Pangsha. Within Obodo and within the Singapore district, I have taken due care in as far as how the route will go.
In this, Zoo requested Chief Minister Nipirio to look into the matter. Initiating the general discussion on the budget for the year 2022 to 2023 in the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, Minister for Planning and Coordination Niba Krono described the budget 2022 to 2023 as the best ever budget presented, as the government had introduced welfare schemes like the Chief Minister's Microfinance Initiative, where the government will facilitate credit flow to farmers and entrepreneurs. This scheme will make credit more affordable and available to individuals, self-help groups and farmer producers organizations. Updates on Thursday said the government will also provide for either subsidy or interest subvention against identified activities. He said that allocating 2 crore for the Forest Department for plantation of trees of economic importance was a good initiative, since the environment could be further protected by the program. He also lauded the Leader of the House for amicably resolving land issues at the proposed 186 MW hydro power project at Dikul. Along with the rest of the world, Nagaland observed World Tuberculosis Day under the theme Invest to End TB. Save Lives at the NPCC Hall Bayava in Kohima. The program was jointly organized by the National TB Elimination Program and National Health Mission. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Torhushie Katiri, Mission Director, said a total of 1.5 million people died from TB in 2020 worldwide, and TB is the 13th leading cause of death and the second leading infectious killer after COVID-19. He said that the National Strategic Plan is a framework to guide the activities of all stakeholders, including the national and state governments, development partners, civil society organizations, international agencies, research institutions, private sector, and many others whose work is relevant to TB elimination in India. Katiri said that a total of 3,689 patients were notified from both the public and private sector in 2021 in the state. It was an achievement of 74% of the target set by Government of India, for which the success was pegged at 81% against the target of 90%.
A total of 1.5 million people died from TB in 2020 worldwide. 1.5 million people died from TB in 2020 worldwide. TB is the 13th leading cause of death and second leading infection killer after COVID-19. In 2020, the 30 high TB burden country accounted for 86% of the new TB cases. 8 countries account for 2/3 of the total, with India leading the count. India has committed to end tuberculosis by 2025, 5 years ahead of the global sustainable development goal. Now everything has come, what do you for me too. What is sustainable development goal? Now everything has become how people are getting a quality of life, how the people are getting a quality of their livings, how the people are longevity, how the people are improving their longevity, how much the people are getting accessible to the basic health care. Oh, so many parameters are there. It's not only just tuberculosis alone, but it may come as even light, water, sanitation, road, everything is all coming in one compartment as a basket.
Dr. Tiasana Poner, State Program Officer, highlighted the facilities and treatment of TB available in the state. He informed that investigation and treatment of TB is free of cost in all the government health facilities. He added, Pungun also presented the performance indicators and notification rates. The SPO further appealed to all the stakeholders to extend their support by spreading awareness about the disease to fight against eliminating TB. He also reminded the church and faith-based organizations to disseminate information about the disease in their platform.
For the elimination, we have certain performance indicators. One of the indicators is the notification rate per lakh population, and one is the success rate. In 2017, our state notification rate was 154 per lakh population, and the success rate was 62%. In 2018, our notification rate jumped up to 214 per lakh population, and our success rate was 89%. In 2019, our notification rate leaped up to 235 per lakh population, and our success rate was 84%. At this juncture in 2019, our state was ranked as the second best state among all the smaller states of India. So we got a certificate and we got all the awards. Unfortunately, when the pandemic came, COVID pandemic, in 2020 and 21, our notification rate went downhill to 174 lakh population and 177 lakh per population. Even our success rate went down to 81%. In 2021, we couldn't achieve, but in 2022, our state was attempting to be at least on the top of the list among the smaller states. But as of now, we are not being judged because Delhi is not doing the calculation. But let me assure you that our state is not doing well, not doing bad. We are somewhere near the top. Whether we achieve first, second, or third, that is immaterial. But among the smaller states of India, our state is confidently on the top. Thank you.
That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.